Hello guys. Russia is always winning, even when it is losing. And they have a huge state propaganda machine and centuries of experience that help them believe in what they want to. That's why Russians did not retreat from Kherson. They left it in a gesture of goodwill. And their generals, before dying on Ukrainian battlefields, stop bullets and missiles with their bodies. And if a military object is on fire somewhere in Russia, it is just because a careless worker smoked nearby. My name is Anna, and I vlog daily from Ukraine since the start of the brutal Russian invasion. So if you support Ukraine, you're new to the channel, and you want to receive the updates from my country, please subscribe and help us fight informational war. And my longtime friends, check your subscription status and hit notification button. These days, two military objects were on fire in Russia, and that is oil refinery in Krasnodar and some air defense complexes in Crimea. This is important because this is an example of Ukrainian counter-offensive success. At the very beginning of this war, very few people, even those who liked Ukraine and supported our democratic choice, doubted we will manage to withstand Putin's machine. But today, the war is returning back home to Mother Russia, and Russian propagandists do not know how to explain that to people, because in their tutorials, Russia is always winning and fires on its military objects go against the rule. Well, let me tell you more about each of these objects and why it is so important for our future victory. And subscribe and like if you support Ukraine. So, oil refinery in Krasnodar worked for the production of fuel for Russian jets and bombers. And I think it's pretty easy to understand that by destroying this object, first of all, we ruin Russian military infrastructure. Second, we cause the deficit of fuel for Russian military jets, and thus protect Ukrainian infrastructure and Ukrainian people. What is also important, the oil refinery is close to Krasnodar, which is a big city in Russia, and people can hear the sound of explosion. People can hear and feel the smell of explosion and see it with their own eyes. So war becomes their reality. I don't want to cause any casualties in Russia because I'm not a Russian orc. Ukrainians are different, and I'm sure that during this war you've seen how different our approaches are and that we always target military objects. It may be difficult because there are always people walking by, but so far Ukrainians demonstrate very high level of accuracy and very high level of humanity, if it's possible to say so. But Russians get terrified, they feel panic, they see war, and maybe one day, one beautiful day, more of them will be able to protest or at least say something bad about Putin and war. But war is coming back home to Mother Russia. Another military object that was destroyed today is an air defense complex S-300 that Russians use both to protect their military targets on Crimea Peninsula and also to target Ukraine. Once again, panic, fire, and I'm sure Crimea is no more popular among Russian tourists. And this is actually a great achievement and a great turn in this war that many forget to notice. When observing the movements of Ukrainian armed forces and the retreat of Russian troops on the counteroffensive map, we forget the fact that during this months of war, an extremely big and brutal country is not able to achieve any of the goals it set at the beginning, and it is already a huge Ukrainian victory. And no one would believe explosions and destructions will happen on the territory of Russia back at the very beginning of this war. And this is also our victory. And the fact that we remain normal, human, we care not to destroy civilian objects is another illustration Ukraine is worth your support. Also, there was a fire on one military plant, but that might be a result of careless behavior. And sometimes I think, as some of you comment, and I like this type of comment, that left untreated, Russians can actually ruin their own country with their own hands. And actually, that's what they are doing, I think, at the moment. Let me know what are the other topics you would like me to discuss in this video. Congratulations with Halloween if you celebrate one. I did love the costume of Blinken's son when he was visiting the White House, because he was dressed up as the president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky. Let me know, have you seen it, and what do you think about that? Once again, thank you for your support. Thank you for buying me coffees, becoming my patrons. By the way, are you following me on Instagram? If not, the link is in the description of this video. Also, I'm on Twitter, Threads, and we have a beautiful and friendly Discord community. The link to my merch shop is below this video too. But most importantly, I want to thank you for all the kind comments, advice, and conversation that you hold to support Ukraine. This is very important, and united, we will win this war. Слава Україні!